Introducing NASM One, NASM's ultimate membership program. Unlock access to everything your fitness career needs to succeed. Unlimited CEUs, free courses, access to our premium app, and exclusive discounts, all for $35 a month. NASM One is best-in-class tools, cutting-edge certifications, confidence in your craft, and everything you do as a personal trainer made easy, so we can achieve our greatest goals together as one.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Sharecare Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today we're going to talk about the best glute exercises. That's right, the best ones. The best to work out the most important muscle in the body. Is it the heart? Don't be silly. The glutes. All right. I joke, but when we're talking about this, there's so much about the glutes, the big house, the maximus. Were you not entertained? Ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the best glute exercises, there's a lot of talk out there. And I think it's funny because so many people out there, and then even researchers, they'll find research and they'll go, I see your research, but I don't like it because I don't think that EMG studies do very well at identifying which is the better amount of activation. And I don't think that these studies, and it's really, there's a lot of debate out there, but in the world of academia. And here's the thing, and I talked about it earlier in the week, that even if you have the best exercise, and there's one, and it's the only one, and it is the best exercise, after a while, it's not the best exercise. And then a little bit later, it's the best exercise again, because you got to cycle through it. We adapt to things. Our body adapts. And once you get better at something, your body gets very efficient. And once your body gets efficient, then it goes into the maintenance phase, which means you are less likely to hypertrophy those muscles or to strengthen those muscles. So you have to add some variety into it. Well, fortunately, there's a study that's a systematic review by Neto et al. In 2020 in the Journal of Sports Science and Medicine. And it talks about gluteus maximus activation and that there's a high percentage of a maximum voluntary contraction that takes place in certain exercises. And you could pick any one of these exercises and you could do it and you'd see benefits. And you could pick the ones that didn't even make the best list. And you can also do them and you would see benefits from it as well. So I think they're just kind of taking a little bit of all of these. But fortunately, the ones that they say have a high amount of activation, which is greater than 60% of maximum voluntary contraction, were these. Are you ready? Starting from the top. All right, the best exercises. And if you're taking notes, get ready because there's more than a few of them. Ready? Here we go. Step-ups, lateral step-ups, diagonal step-ups, the crossover step-ups. All right, so let's just go there. There are 4 versions of step-ups, and I had Andre Adams and Dr. Sunny on the podcast a while back. And one of the things that they said for glute development, because it was a glute development podcast, they said step-ups were one of the best exercises for glute development. And that's what they use a lot of times with their athletes that are getting ready for bodybuilding or figure shows. Well, here we go with 4 versions of a step-up that show really high glute activation. But hold on, there's more. Hex bar deadlifts. I do like myself a hex bar deadlift. And by the way, I have a PR chart. When I do my PR charts, I have hex bar deadlift on there, but I have 2 versions of it because a lot of hex bar deadlifts have a high handle and a low handle. And if you grab the high handle, you're going to be able to do a lot more weight or with the same amount of weight, do a lot more repetitions. So I have a PR if you grab the high handle, and I have a PR if you are holding the low handle, increasing your range of motion. You guys are like, shut up, stop with all the exposition. Just give us the answers to the test. What are the good glute exercises? All right, hex bar deadlift, rotational barbell hip thrust, traditional barbell hip thrust, American barbell hip thrust, belt squats. I just got a belt squat machine recently at one of the gyms. Me gusta. Split squats. Split squats. We like inline lunges, traditional lunge, pull barbell hip thrust. I don't know why that didn't go with all the other hip thrust. Modified single leg squat, the conventional deadlift, and a banded hip thrust. Let me go through all of those again. The exercise classified as very high level glute maximus activation, greater than 60% of maximal voluntary contraction, were step-ups, lateral step-ups, diagonal step-ups, crossover step-up, hex bar deadlift, rotational barbell hip thrust, traditional barbell hip thrusts, American barbell hip thrust with a posterior tilt, belt squats, split squats, inline lunge, traditional lunge, pull barbell hip thrust, modified single leg squat, conventional deadlift, and band hip thrust. That's 12 exercises if I've counted that correctly when I was going through them, and I may not have, because I don't know if you know anything about trainers, not the best counters, though that is a significant part of the job. You get what you get. All right. The study says we conclude that several exercises could induce very high levels of glute max activation. The step-up exercise and its variations present the highest level of glute max activation, followed by several loaded exercises and its variations, such as deadlifts, hip thrusts, lunges, and squats. The results of the systematic review may assist practitioners in selecting exercises for strength training the glute max. And I would say that even without this study, all of you are very likely to do these same exercises when you do your workouts. Now, you may start to prioritize a step up now, maybe a little bit more than the perpetual and non-stop hip thrusts, but we get a little bit of variety in there. Hip thrusts are still very good. Deadlifts, squats, lunges, all those things that we're used to doing, it's still in there. It's still in there. This is what I like about research, is that sometimes it just confirms that you've been on the right path, and sometimes it just switches it up and allows you to go, maybe I'll start incorporating something new or something different or something more often. And that might be the case here. With that being said, I did see something that Brett Contreras posted, the glute guy, and he was talking about step-ups and the variety, the way that they've changed step-ups. Now, these are regular old step-ups and inline and all that stuff that it mentioned in the study. But he was saying that if your knee doesn't translate as far over the toe, so you might grab a bar that's in front of you and hold on to it, and then your step up has less knee flexion, but you might have the same amount of hip flexion and then standing into extension. But if you do it without as much knee flexion, then you might get the glutes to activate a little bit more. And if that's the case and that works for you, great. Also, maintaining just regular step-ups still does a great job at increasing the amount of glute activation. So I'm here for the win. All of them, I think they'll all work. And I also think that there's a variety that should be included. So if you said, hey, this is the best one, it's also still not the only one. And sometimes we get real caught up with the research shows that this is the best one. And you just keep doing that and you lack the variety. And especially with clients, you lack the variety, then you are going to have them lose interest. And so we can increase the variety with exercises we know all support the goal that we're looking for. And then we can provide that to them. Y'all, I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. I know you were like, give me a lot more about the glute exercises. This is just the best glute exercises. I think this is a pretty good list of exercises based on the systematic review. And these are things that you can take with you. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. You want to reach out to me, you can do so. Hit me up at dr.rickrichey on Instagram and Threads, or rick.richey@nasm.org. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM CPT Podcast.